today?
I am wonderful. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, the button was not working, but now we're back on track. So reboot, that's
Okay.
all. We're good. Live show, what are you going to
do? We're all rebooting. Michelle?
Oh, it is time, my friend. It is Join Together June, and we need to reboot everything. We need to go back to normal, connecting with people, get rid of that shame in our lives. We probably have accumulated more shame or guilt in the past year, and now it's time to just shed that. Let's shed it.
Yes, and I will tell you how to do that.
All right, I'm all ears.
Okay, now, listening to your introduction is what can we do now? And Michelle, you covered all the bases, what you can do as far as, in our community, in our city, and politicians, et cetera. That is what, you covered that. I'm covering what can we do to stop the beast. And the beast is shame, guilt, energy. And we need to have more of the love God energy. Mm-hmm. That's what we can do. Now, the problem is that most people don't know that we have an internal battle between love, God, and the shame, guilt, negativity within us. It is a battle that we've been having, but nobody told us we have a battle within us. We just were always fighting with ourselves. But I'm telling you what the battle is. So if you know what the battle is, you can win the battle.
Yeah, it's like showing up for a game if you don't know the rules. How you going to win the game?
Hello, yeah. They never even told us their name, the enemy's name. I'm telling you the enemy's name. The enemy's name is shame, guilt, energy. Shame, guilt, energy is negative energy that's very oppressive. And you go, why is it so strong? Like we feel God, I feel God, but this shame, guilt, negativity is like overpowering. And that's everybody. That's just not you. So you need to know that. Now, the reason it's overpowering because shame, guilt, energy needs you. You don't need it. Humanity doesn't need guilt, doesn't need shame, but shame, guilt, energy needs us. Why? Because it lives off our light of God. It's sort of like the parasite kind of thing. So the fact that we know our enemy, we can learn to get rid of it. So the first thing is to know that shame, guilt, energy is not of humanity. It's negative energy. It's like a computer virus that comes into your computer and messes it all up. Shame, guilt, energy comes into our body and turns our beautiful, positive love and joy and happiness into negativity. It turns our compassion into depression. It turns our it turns our intuition into anxiety. It turns our passion to anger. So we just need to get rid of the...
Right, it's like fear. It's not real. It's in our heads. It doesn't exist.
No, it does exist. It's shame, guilt, energy. Fear is shame, guilt, energy. We call it fear. We call it depression. We call it anxiety. We call it 450,000 names. And that's why we're all confused. And I'm telling you that shame, guilt, energy is the root of all negative emotions. So why do we go after depression, anxiety? Why don't we just go after shame, guilt, and get the heck out of here?
That's a great point.
That's my song for the day.
Yeah, and I never thought of it that way, so I'm glad that you kind of clarified it. So, all right, what's the first step that we do to get rid of this shame, guilt, so that all of that other negative baggage is gone?
The first step is never say my shame, my guilt. Okay, you don't own these guys. They're another force, and that's a whole nother story. So when you feel shame, I did so guilty, or whatever you feel, you go, okay, that's the shame, guilt monster energy that's trying to feed off of me. And you say, get out of here. Okay. Shame, guilt, energy only has one defect. Dissolves in detection like the Wizard of Oz.
Ooh.
How about that one? That's why they kept it a secret for so long.
Sounds like a lot of things are being kept secret nowadays.
Yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
secret is here, and that's what my film's about. I'm exposing, I'm showing shame, guilt, what it looks like, and how it enters your body, and what it does, and how you can get rid of it. Okay, so the first step is like, that doesn't belong to me, but I still feel depressed. I still feel anxious. So you say, hi, depression. Thank you so much for coming to talk to me. I own my emotions. I don't own shame, guilt. How about that one?
I think that's great. You address them, and it's like when you're playing golf, they say address the ball, and you go, hello, ball. It's the same thing.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. We talk to ourselves anyway, Michelle.
All day.
But I'm just saying, talk to the right person inside of you. And then you have to make friends with the inner critic. That's another story for another day, but we make friends with him because he's the shame guilt producer. So we got to make friends with him and say, don't do that anymore. I don't need that anymore. So anyway, that's another story. So that's what I'm about.
Well, you've got 70 years of stories, so lots to share with the audience. And I've always looked forward to your topics because just so some people have a little insight, what was the machine that you invented many, many years ago?
Oh, the kidney hemodialysis machine in the 60s. In Jefferson in Philadelphia. So I've always been ahead of the game. So that's why people say, I never heard that before. You're right. I bring in new information. That's just my MO. You know, some people are carpenters, some people are singers. My MO is I bring in new information so humanity can evolve. That's it.
Awesome. What a smart lady. In the 60s, when like women weren't even allowed to leave the house. Amazing. Amazing. I'm so impressed, my dear. Give your website.
Lois, Lois, Hollis, HOLLIS.com, LoisHollis.com, and there's much, much value there. So just come in and say hi, and I'll say hi to you.
Awesome. You're the best, Lois. Thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing more next month, my dear.
I love you, Michelle. Keep doing what you're doing. We need all the people like you today.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot, my dear. I will talk to you next month. Thank you. Thank you for being such a great partner and so supportive. Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
They're emotional. All right, it's 12:17. I wanted to keep it on track because my intro was a little long, but it was important. There's so much going on that I got to share with you guys. But real quick, before I bring in my next guest, I just wanted to say a special thank you to all of the listeners out there. You guys are awesome. In the month of May, we had almost 960,000 live listeners just on the Global Enlightenment Radio Network platform. Just one platform, everybody. So thank you so much. And thanks to Big D, who runs that operation over there. And again, if you want to rate and review us, that'd be awesome. If you could subscribe to the show, that's even better. And you've got 16 platforms to choose from. Of course, all the major ones are listed. And